Lesson: Common legal terminology in contract law. Understanding common legal terminology in contract law is foundational for professionals seeking to enhance their proficiency in drafting, analyzing, and negotiating contracts. Legal terminology serves as the building blocks of contracts, offering clarity and specificity in legal obligations and rights. This lesson aims to provide actionable insights into the key terms and concepts that are indispensable for any contract law specialist, along with practical tools and frameworks to effectively apply this knowledge in real-world situations. At the core of contract law is the concept of an offer, which signifies a clear intention to be bound by certain terms if accepted by the offeree. An offer must be distinguished from an invitation to treat, which merely invites parties to negotiate, such as advertisements or price lists. Understanding this distinction is crucial, as demonstrated in the case of Partridge v. Crittenden, where an advertisement for birds was deemed an invitation to treat, not an offer, thereby preventing a breach of contract claim. This case underscores the importance of recognizing the intent behind communication in contract formation. Once an offer is made, the next critical term is acceptance. Acceptance must be unequivocal and communicated to the offeror for a contract to be binding. The mirror image rule dictates that acceptance must exactly match the terms of the offer. Any deviation constitutes a counteroffer, voiding the original offer. This principle was highlighted in the case of Hyde v. Wrench, where a counteroffer effectively nullified the initial offer, illustrating the necessity for precision in contract negotiations. Consideration is another fundamental aspect of contract law, referring to the value exchanged between parties. It is essential for a contract's enforceability, with the principle that a promise must be supported by consideration. This concept was solidified in the landmark case of Curry v. Misa, which defined consideration as a right, interest, profit, or benefit accruing to one party or a detriment undertaken by the other. Professionals should ensure that consideration is present and legally sufficient to avoid unenforceable agreements. The intention to create legal relations is a prerequisite for contract enforceability. In business contexts, there is a presumption that parties intend to create binding agreements, whereas social and domestic arrangements typically lack this presumption. The case of Balfour exemplifies this, where a husband's promise to pay his wife an allowance was deemed non-binding due to the absence of intent to create legal relations in a domestic setting. A breach of contract occurs when a party fails to perform their contractual obligations. Understanding the severity of a breach, whether it is material or minor, is crucial for determining the appropriate remedy. Material breaches allow the non-breaching party to terminate the contract and seek damages, while minor breaches may only warrant damages. The case of Poussard v. Spears and Pond illustrates a material breach, where the performer's failure to appear for a series of performances allowed the theater company to terminate the contract. The parole evidence rule is a doctrine that prevents parties from presenting extrinsic evidence that contradicts or adds to the written terms of a contract. This rule ensures that the written contract is the definitive source of terms agreed upon by the parties. However, exceptions exist where ambiguity in the contract language necessitates clarification. A practical application of this rule can be seen in the case of Bank of Australasia v. Palmer, where the court held that oral evidence could not contradict the express terms of a written contract. King. Incorporating practical tools and frameworks enhances understanding and application of these terminologies. One effective tool is the use of checklists for contract drafting and review. A comprehensive checklist should include verification of offer and acceptance, ensuring consideration is present, assessing the intention to create legal relations, and identifying potential breaches and remedies. This systematic approach minimizes errors and oversights, providing a structured framework for contract analysis. Another practical framework is the Four Corners Rule, which emphasizes that the interpretation of a contract should be confined to the document's literal language. This rule advocates for clarity and precision in drafting contracts, reducing reliance on external evidence. Professionals should focus on crafting clear, unambiguous terms to mitigate disputes and ensure enforceability. Case studies further illustrate the application of these concepts. For instance, the case of Carlo v. Carbolic Smokeball Co. is a classic example of offer and acceptance, where a company's advertisement promising a reward for using their product constituted a unilateral offer, accepted by the plaintiff's performance. This case highlights the importance of understanding unilateral contracts and the conditions for acceptance in such arrangements. In addition to these frameworks, staying informed about legal developments is vital. Contract law is dynamic, with evolving interpretations and applications. Engaging with reputable legal journals and attending professional development seminars can keep practitioners updated on recent case law and legislative changes, enhancing their ability to navigate complex contractual issues. Statistics also provide insight into the significance of understanding contract law terminology. According to a study by the International Association for Contract and Commercial Management, poor contract management can result in losses amounting to 9% of an organization's annual revenue. This statistic underscores the financial impact of contractual misunderstandings and the value of proficiency in legal terminology. In conclusion, mastering common legal terminology in contract law is essential for professionals to effectively draft, negotiate, and enforce contracts. By understanding key concepts such as offer, acceptance, consideration, and breach, and employing practical tools and frameworks, contract law specialists can address real-world challenges with confidence. Continuous learning and adaptation to legal developments further enhance proficiency, ensuring successful navigation of the complexities of contract law.